this time that we're all going through, but to also kind of create a space for us all to process this together and kind of create that opportunity. So really exciting, taking advantage of the chance for us to gather globally when we're not able to gather with our neighbors. So it's been really exciting. It was the beginning part of this is developing what is this project, which was a really heavy lift for us. And our team, Eric and Navahine, and I have been working directly with Meleanna in developing this project so that it's something simple that people can engage in, but also has depth and kind of a full concept behind it, so that it's not just something that's simple but without depth. We wanted to have the simplicity but with the depth, and with Meleanna really taking the lead and helping us to develop something, I think we've got something really special. And so happy to have you all here and be part of this project. It's something very different than what our arts program team does, which is why it's been so wonderful to engage working with KUMU Meleanna, because this is where so much of her expertise and experience lies. So just really fun to see this what was an idea, and which is sometimes difficult to explain what it is when you're not part of it, trying to communicate what this project is and what the spirit of this project is. But to see that you've all taken the time to engage and really be part of this is really exciting. We received our first submission in the mail today, which was exciting because then
it is exciting.
Really feel tangible.
Oh
And what we're hoping is that it'll continue to gain momentum. And so just in seeing all of your faces here and being part of this project makes it, again, that much more tangible. We had a really lovely pilot workshop last week, which gave us all a really good feeling about this project and really feeling certain about the project that we're doing together. And also, I did want to mention what's been really exciting as well is that this project kind of came out of the spirit of this time. And as we've been working on this project at the same time, a group of the current East-West Center students, Carolyn Siegmund's here as the representative. There's also a call for submissions for a publication project that's kind of in the similar, same idea in terms of intention, but a very different project. So we've invited Carolyn to speak a little bit about her project in case anybody wants to participate in their publication project, because it's very much, our two projects are really running parallel, and we're working to kind of interweave these projects together. So Carolyn, I'd like to talk about the In-Between project for a moment. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here as well. So hello, everyone. My name is Carolyn, and I'm here to talk to you about the In-Between publication anthology that a group of students at the EWC kind of came up with as a way to kind of document what our experiences have been like so far. Our In-Between publication will be kind of documenting like life in lockdown, life in community during everything that has happened basically over the past year regarding like safer at home orders and lockdowns and quarantine and all those things. The idea actually came out of new students that were coming to the EWC had to do like quarantine in Lincoln Hall for 2 weeks before we could actually move into our actual rooms here on campus. And so it was kind of, like we were here for those 2 weeks, we were here in Hawaii, but we weren't yet in our rooms where we were going to be staying for the rest of the program. So we were kind of in an in-between space where we weren't home, wherever home was for us, but we weren't here as well because we had to stay inside. And so this publication is open to submissions from anyone within the EWC community. So it's for students, staff, friends of the EWC, or spouses of people or significant others of those who work in the EWC. We didn't want to limit it to just a student publication. So it's open for anyone. And we're interested in collecting any sort of creative expression that could be a written work, or it could be artwork, like digital artwork or studio artwork, or really whatever kind of way that people want to express themselves. We are open to accepting that, because this will all be eventually published in an online anthology. And so the work we're hoping to collect is something that we ask was created during the pandemic experience in some way, but the art, the material, or the content of the art doesn't necessarily have to be focused on COVID or life in, like, explicitly in the pandemic. So it just has to be something that came out of that time. So for example, one piece that I am contributing to this publication is a collection of drawings of birds, because for me, the summer before I came to Hawaii, I was at home and I wasn't allowed to go out and work. I wasn't allowed to really go anywhere because it was too dangerous. And, you know, I was trying to do my best to not go out and potentially catch the virus and spread it or anything. So one of the things that I decided to do was, because I love to, I'm not an art major at all, by the way, I'm just a hobby artist. So I just do this kind of on my own for fun. And one of the things that I wanted to do was, in creating my art, was look at, well, what is around me and what can I create, what can I draw? Like, what are, you know, possible inspirations around me? And because I was at home and looking out my window at my backyard, I just noticed I started to appreciate and notice all the birds that I was seeing in the backyard. I just started drawing birds. And so one of the things that I'm going to contribute to this publication are just a collection of pictures of birds that I drew, which relates to being in between and being, you know, life in the pandemic. Even though I'm not drawing explicitly about the pandemic, the fact that I was drawing birds because I had very little else to do, like very little else I could go and look at. I couldn't go out and do a landscape or anything like that because I was, you know, stuck at home. That is something that contributes to the experience, the overall experience of my year. And so we're looking for things like that. And we're also not just looking to attract submissions from people that are art majors or professional artists or writers or anything like that. We would love submissions from them as well, but we want this to be something for anyone who has some, you know, hobby interest in art as a hobby, or is curious about it and, you know, has never had the chance to really go out and write a poem and submit it or anything like that. We're very open to any and all experience levels in creative pieces, because regardless of what our actual experience levels are and training may be with art, we all did experience this, and we all continue to experience whatever life is right now. And so that this would be an excellent way to collect those experiences and put them in a place where we can all kind of see how we have all, even if we were doing it all separately, we were all experiencing this in a way together.
Great.
So thank you for putting all of that information, Annie, in the chat for people.
Yeah, well. Great. Thank you, Carolyn. And Carolyn, you're going to be staying on too, right, for today? So if people have questions later, we'll have some time for some Q&A at the end if you have more questions about the project. But so thank you for joining us today, Carolyn. And maybe later you can share some of your bird images. You've got such beautiful birds that you've drawn. I've always loved seeing them. So thank you for joining us. Okay, Meleanna, I think we're ready to roll. Let's take it away and let's dive into the KUMU project.
All right. I just wanted to aloha everybody and let you know that that we have lots to be grateful for. And I just want you to ruminate about that for a moment, given that the world has been stopped in its tracks, at least humanity has been. There's just a thought I want you to hold for this work tonight, and it's mahalo I ka mea loa'a, meaning in Hawaiian, gratitude for the things that have been given to us. Because culturally, not that this hasn't been difficult for everyone, but I think what we're being asked through this work, the KUMU project, and this in-between experience, is to just stop for a moment, and just be able to take a deep breath and be able to be present to each other. Because what Annie and I experienced with Eric and Navahine is an amazing energy that's come from being together on Zoom. And had you asked me or told me, what do you think about this? And is it possible? I would have said, no way, Jose. Okay. So the fact that we can be in a space collectively from all over the world, which is what happened last week. We had folks from Indonesia, London, India, Kuala Lumpur, here, there, and everywhere. It just kind of like took my breath away. So I just want to honor each and every one of you for being here with us, because we have work to do. We have an opportunity to share with others about not only this notion of KUMU as source, and basically it is also considered a tree, but it's that energy that we tap into. It's the energy that helps to bring us together. And it's very powerful. And this project has really taught me a lot, because everyone who's been on these calls have taught me a lot. So could you do me a favor? Could you, with your pieces of paper, if you have one in front of you, or if you've made your book already, just fold that paper in half. And I was usually going to say, hey, these books better be done because we want to start, but go ahead and fold that book. Fold the paper in half and then fold it again. So, and then what way, KUMU? Hamburger way. And then you're going to fold it again into a hot dog. And as much as this is simple, this kind of thing gets me excited every time I do it, which goes to show you I don't need to be entertained by a lot. Okay. Just imagination, time, and sharing presence with each other. Okay. So on this fold, all you're going to do is cut with a pair of scissors, or as I did, I just folded it and tore it. And then you're going to open this up like this, and it's just going to fold naturally into a book like magic. Now, the reason that's important for you guys to know is because we do not live our lives on a piece of paper. This is what the experience of a lot of our time has been this year, just sort of awaiting and abeyance, not very embodied, dimensional, or animated. So when you can change a piece of paper and turn it into something as in a book, I hope you all have done that. Has everyone done that? Virginia, have you done that? Okay. Hi.
Can you show it one more time?
Sure. Hi, Terry. This is like so cool. It's just a piece of paper that got folded in half and then folded again. So it's a quarter, right? A quarter of a half. You're going to cut this little puppy in the middle on a fold. And then you're going to actually open it up, and it's going to turn into a book. It's just going to turn into a book just by magic. All right, Terry Skellman, where's your book? All right. So the exciting part is we have now created the beginning of our story. Now, there are only 4 spreads in here, so you're lucky. I'm not going to make you do chapter books or anything. just one little book today, okay? All right. But I am going to show you a couple of books just to let you know that, I've had fun with these things. I'm actually going to show you a book that's 25 years old. I lost a big journal, one of my big working journals, when I was in Tahiti. I was playing Frisbee, put it down. When I came back, nullo vale, it disappeared. I was so distraught about it. And one of my friends, a teacher, said, don't worry, Mele, I'll make you a book and everything will be okay. Well, it wasn't okay, but it sure changed my life. So this is the book. So as we were there that day, we were doing poi ulu, and I just had this idea of putting these 2 images together, and then it's really an art book too as well. And then this became the waters, the clouds, and also the waters that were brought to this project. And I was thinking about an island, Kauai, of course. And then this coconut almost hit me, so it had to be in my book. And then these are also the rainbows, night and day. So I guess what I want to show you is how simple it is. This was just done with a Bic pen. So this isn't going to be a stressful project, but the exciting part is when you actually open it up. Because what you can experience just by doing this and seeing this screen right now with all of these images, it's going to show you that, well, maybe I'll ask, is this person a couch potato? You can unmute yourself if you've got some answers. Is this person somebody who loves nature? So answer those questions, because what I want you to do is to see how reflective a little book like this can be, okay? So this is magic. And this opportunity to work like this has stayed with me all these years. So today, I do want to show you one or two other illustrations or examples. I want you to share, I want you to unmute and tell me what this book is for you, okay? What does it look like? What does it mean? Ready? And this is the last page. So does anybody have any ideas?
Eclipse, maybe?
Yeah, eclipse maybe. But if I opened it up and reminded you that every day, you know, our lives appear to be a page or a spread or two, and we don't know necessarily where we're going, but in the big scheme of things, in the extraordinary, amazing scheme of things, life happens, but it's a big story. So I just want to share that because this is part of the experience. It's not only just of the spreads, but it's also what you're going to create as part of a larger story. So this took me about 20 years to figure out. So if you're feeling like you don't know exactly what's going on, don't worry, it took me years to figure out. This is just another example. These are different images. This ended up being a thank you note to a friend. And then it ended up being where these were images that I was able to send. And each of them told the story. So as we begin right now, you've got your book. Please go ahead. And by the way, this is actually meant to be kind of an exercise for you to get ready for your book. Because we don't, you know, in an hour and a half, to be fair to you, these books, if I were to be honest with you, they actually take a while. So this project that we're going to begin today, we can get through it, or most of it, but it's meant to generate ideas for you, if that's okay. Okay. So here we go. First page, I'd like you on your book here to draw me a half sphere. All right. So here's your half sphere. This is what it's going to look like. Okay. All I'm asking you to do is just make that half sphere. Okay. It's going to be that simple. And of course, funny, there's nothing on the other side, right? So the simplicity of this is also very elegant. So just complete the circle. So it's not meant to be stressful. I mean, how can a one piece of paper be stressful, right? So, and by the way, this notion of being an artist is a very strange one. From my perspective, because I consider you all creatives. You all are artists in my worldview. Some of us just practice a lot more than others. My buddy Solomon Enos practices 10 to 12 hours a day. If I get to spend an hour a day, I feel like, oh, that's a lot of time. But you can appreciate the level and depth of facility with somebody who does that 8 to 10 hours a day. Okay, there's a very different energy. So everybody should have this beautiful circle on their spread. And oddly enough, and humor me, you actually have the beginning of a book and the end of a book. So this is your front and your back page. This is the cover of your book. And what I'm going to ask you next is to kind of animate that circle a little bit. And on the back of your circle, you'll see it. Just add a little extra line and a base so that it actually looks like a globe. Okay. Now, Is that a perfect globe? No. Could it be drawn better? Yes. But in this instance, because it's a practice, you're going to cut me some slack. Okay. So this is what we call an outline, right? So then the outline can get bigger and better and more interesting because it is a globe. I want you to consider it a globe. Okay. So as we're drawing, as you're working on your drawing, please take note that we're adding a stand and we're adding a frame so that this globe is going to spin. All right. And as this globe is spinning, don't laugh too much, but this is what I'm going to show you. I want you to consider what's going to be inside the globe. So you've got a couple of very light lines. These are longitudinal and latitudinal lines, but I've chosen also to put Hawaii in the middle. So in most instances, if you think about Hawaii, this is what we really look like. Can you see that little dot there, right there? That's us. But in my worldview today, which I'm sharing, Hawaii has a different emphasis. We actually call that, an ethno or a Hawaii centrism today, because most of us, when we see the globe, it always has the continent on it. But this is going to show you right here that this is the way I wanted you all to see it. I wanted you to see it the way I want you to see it. This is my book, I'm sharing, and this is what's going to happen. So you can choose to make the Pacific and our little Hawaii very non-essential and almost invisible, if you'd like. There it is. Or you can choose to make it really extraordinarily large and important. And that is called a centrism. So the exciting part about this is when you're starting, you're just starting with a really simple shape. So as an artist, I'm going to have you focus on rounds today. So as you finish this first round, right, your second, please do me a favor, take a moment and write in your language, whichever language that may be, or others, a little bit about on your cover. Take a moment to write about your feelings about the world today. Okay, so I've just taken a moment to write, and I've written as you guys are writing right now. This is called a free write, by the way. So it's an invitation to reflect with words. So I put Eia ka honua, Piliana, Kamanava, He, Eha Nui, Keia Au, Ue, Ihea, Ihea ka mea pono. So I'm trying to just, express. So basically this is journal work in the form of a little book. Okay. So just don't get hung up with the words, the spelling, just have fun with this for a moment, would you? And as you're working, understand this is an invitation to you all to participate in a larger project. But I figured, I'm not going to just have you guys jump into the project. I want you to have the experience of actually having the success of one little book under your belt before you go into your own work. Okay. I think that's important. That's what I've determined after all of this. And we have really worked this book a lot. So as you're working on this page, think about the whole world being in this state of suspension, this stage of arrest, this stage of pandemic, and what your feelings are. And then if you've got more feelings than you want on with this one side of paper, guess what? You have your whole other side. But take a moment on this side to be a little bit more hopeful. If you've got some really gloomy down stuff and you've got questions, go ahead and give yourself an answer on this side. Just for the sake of the exercise. And as you're working, just know that you don't have to be completed with this piece. It's just meant to be like the beginning, a preliminary sketch for your work today. Because this next spread is actually going to be all about, you know what? It's going to be about COVID. So this next page kind of can look like this. Let me see, where is it? Can actually kind of look like this if you want. What I want you to do is, again, start with the circle on either half circle, and then go ahead and do a full circle if you want. But then go ahead and take a moment to create what that COVID might look like. It might look like this. It might look like this, because I put a few little COVIDs on here, because it's just more than one big thing. But this is for you and your book, so you get to make your choices. Okay, so this is yet another choice, and all I've done with this is go ahead and show you a little bit about putting some shading. So these are low lights and highlights. And then I've used the watercolor as a background just to change it up a bit. So you're going to just get from this globe, your next page is going to be this horrid, interesting disease that's hit us all. So, from something simple, right? It's ended up looking like this when it's when my drawing was finished. This is only, one of my sketches, because I've got about 10 of these. And again, I'm sitting there and writing because now I'm talking to Mr. COVID or Missy COVID or Tribe COVID or whatever the heck this is. And I am expressing my upset and my frustration. And I just wanted to share that with you, because I'm hoping, as you all are working, that this part of your process becomes really personal. In other words, I'm not looking for you to make something that looks like this. I'm just giving you this as an example. Okay. Lele Mia, it's nice to see you. Aloha. Viren, nice to see you again. Aloha to you. Jackie, aloha. So it's so good to see friends and fellow East-West Center folks. The East-West Center also really has given me a chance in my life to connect to the world. So I'm so grateful. And as you guys are working, just know that this is like a beginning sketch book. So I don't expect that any of your books are actually going to look like this per se, so much as they will give you an idea of possibly different directions to go, and I thought to myself, well, it's worth going through this so that you feel the comfort and the success of knowing how to do this, because it's really a very simple process. And again, you could use a big pen and color crayons. It makes no difference. So I'm glad you guys are so focused. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, wonderful. And if there are any questions as you guys are working, please go ahead and let me know, okay? And as we're kind of marching along, maybe does anybody want to put their COVID up there to share with us what it looks like? Anybody want to just put up their drawing and share?
I see Suze.
Okay, Suze, where are you?
Ooh, I like it.
Where are you?
I'm gonna spotlight.
Okay.
There you are. Hi, Sue.
Oh, yay. Hi, Sue. Aloha. All right.
I just kept thinking about question marks for everything.
Okay.
So my globe is a question mark.
Wow.
My COVID is a question mark.
Okay. And you can appreciate how deep that is, because every one of those question marks really has a conversation attached to it, right, Sue? So,
oh, yeah.
So, and by the way, because there's no single answer for this exercise, everything that we generate, I'd like to ask permission that when we share, that if I like that idea, which I do, Sue, I'm going to put a couple question marks on this new drawing of my COVID, because it needs question marks. So what ended up happening last week, and Annie can also share, is one of our colleagues put all of these things represented as little hands, because she thought, well, Annie, could you share what her mana'o was about that?
Which one? I'm trying to remember which one.
I know, I can't remember the name, but the drawing stuck with me, because it was like all of these hands that were reaching out, and they weren't really even a COVID so much as they were some kind of a connector. And I didn't quite understand the drawing, but it was very deep because it was very different. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Viren, you were part of that last week. Could you share your thoughts about what you, maybe the next drawing, or was it this drawing? We'll ask Viren, because he actually drew something that was really cosmic, and it just kind of blew my mind. So as you guys are writing to COVID, this is not a Dear COVID letter. This is like, put all your upset, your anger. And the best thing about art is you can like totally paint this over, and nobody needs to read it. Because see, these are very personal. So just know the books that you send into the East West Center, they are going to be read. So this is why also this is a great opportunity for you guys to just say, okay, I can put all this, crap that I want on this page. Ain't nobody going to see it. But when I send something else in, or if you want people to see it, I mean, that's up to you. But if this were my page and I was putting all this stuff, I'm just going to dip this page into black ink before I send it in. So it'll just be this whole black piece, maybe. Or maybe I'll use white crayon, so these will become stars. I'm not sure, because I'm still in the process of working on my book. But again, it doesn't have to have this form, okay? But I'm just taking us through some exercises. So as you guys are working this drawing, this is what it looked like in this book, right? Let's go to the next page, because I'd like us to have a chance to talk afterwards so we can share. So this is the next part of this page. And what you're going to see then is that it's the sun. So it's, again, using, as an artist, it's using the repetition of form as in circular, right? And then bringing a symbol of something that is healing. So that's what I want you guys to get most of all, that we're going to healing. We're thinking on a global scale with the world. We're going to this macroscopic little germ, and now we're going zoom back out to the universe. So how is the universe, whether it's this sun or this sun or this sun, and there's no such thing as one kind of a sun either, as you all know. So feel free as you're working to create something that has energy, that is healing by nature. And it can be a planet, it can be hearts, a whole bunch of hearts, whatever inspires you to feel that this page will give you energy and will give you permission to find answers. This is an answer page. And I'm putting the sun out there because for me, this just reminds me that we really don't have any control over this pandemic. And it's really in nature's hands. I mean, we may be able to get shots and vaccinations and things, but it's much larger than a shot. It's much larger than what's going on in the world. It's really about Mother Nature saying, guess what? Y'all need to stop and figure out something so that you can save this planet, this beloved planet of ours. So the sun, obviously, for me is very important. And as you guys are drawing, please feel free to then work with your writing, in your language, to talk about what the energy of that sun or that essence is. Whether it is Keakua, another element that will wash away everything, it makes no difference. This is just, again, an example of what I've done so that you guys can go, okay, that's pretty straightforward. I can get a grab or a handle on that. Because it's kind of abstract, you know. I'm asking you, like, what is it that's going to heal? What is it that's going to save us? That's a really good question, don't you think? And it's a frightening one as well. So feel free to write in the center of this guy or on the side. See, it's really cool because there's no one answer. That's the best part about art. So I'm asking you then to just take a moment, and I'm just writing a healing balm, salvaging life, you know, ea ho'i ka la la la, la meaning day, but la meaning sun. So I'm having fun with the language also. And it's just giving me a chance to kind of be reflective. So this whole exercise that we've been working with for KUMU is meant to get you connected to this moment in time. Yeah, this profound moment in time. When else are we going to live through a pandemic? And may we hope to live through the pandemic. Seriously. So believe it or not, these kinds of things have really helped me get through this, because it's been just awful. It's been an awful time for so many people. And I don't want to belittle that. And I want to show you, this is one of my little germ pages. I'm not done with it, but I just want you to see that it's not clear yet. And it doesn't make any difference because I'm still going to work with it. So this is, again, a process. This is a process exercise, okay? And then this is like my little sun piece. I gave it a ground. I'm not sure why, but I'm still playing. So this is like my 5th or 6th book that I'm kind of working through. And I'm not started on the book that I really want to send in yet. So, and you got to know that as you process, this is a conversation for you that is not in your head. It's not meant to be linear. It's not meant to be left brain. It's meant to be kind of like right brain, intuitive, you know, so go to that place and be comfortable with the fact that there are no answers for this. Okay. Because if you need answers, this is the wrong project for you. Because I don't have any. I just have a process that's really helped me pay attention to nature. And I've been trying to listen really hard, because that's been my big aha. And then this last page, because then we'll have a chance to talk and I'll give you a chance to work a little bit more. Should I just give you another couple more minutes on this energy? Let me just do that. Let me give you another 5 minutes so that you can like jump into this page. Think about the stories that you want this book to tell. So as it is a practice, it's kind of like a rehearsal, you know? Not that I know a lot about rehearsals, other than because I'm not an actress, nor am I a musician. So I just want to honor that there are so many other forms, art forms, that I think our work can take us. That's why the In Between project is important. That's why this exhibition at the East West Center is important to me, because it's called Beyond the Surface. So if you can think about that and get to see this show, you'll see pieces on paper that will take you beyond a form. And that's actually really exciting. And then this last one, of course, is actually going to be another circle, and it's going to end up being an eye. And the reason I'm sort of being a little directed here is because, again, you're going to be able to play with the form a little bit. So you're just going to draw that, you know, that half a circle on the other side. And this is a very, very simple sketch. It's not meant to be complicated. You're just using your Bic pen or your Sharpie. So you've got this as a variety. You also have this by the time something's finished. You know, and you know, so you see all the mistakes and things. That's not important. As a matter of fact, I love to see that when I see an artist's work. I love to see their hand. Nothing is perfect. So of course, this is my vision, my personal vision for what I hope to see, what I hope to gain, what insights I want to offer. And I'm excited, you know, I'm hoping that maybe we can all come up with a whole bunch of really profound ideas that can move us forward much more quickly, because whatever we're doing right now isn't the answer, right? So it isn't as if we're going to return to something normal. We've got to get much further along, much further along in our work together, in our visioning together. And that's actually what this time has taught me. It's taught me that, my God, we have to do things differently. And if you want to put 2 or 3 eyes on that page, go for it. I'm just kind of scribbling and doing that myself right now on this book. I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey, you know, maybe everybody needs more than one vision. Maybe we need 40 visions. Maybe we need something that is a deep dive that will take us somewhere else, you know? So feel free in your work. And now I got to go close the door. I left the door open because it was so muggy, and now the rain is coming. So I'll be right back. Don't go away, okay? And of course, as I'm on this call with you, the phone's ringing, the other computer's trying to reboot. So I'm, you know, life in the Zoom age. So just have a sense of humor here, everybody, and we'll figure this out here. How's the work going? Good? Unmute yourself, unmute yourself. Terry, how's it going over there? Good. We're going to have to come up with new emojis. You realize that, everybody? Emojis that are more expressive, represent other things. I hear somebody unmuted.
It might be me, Meleanna. I wanted to say I really love this project. I think it's brilliant. I think that it's going to be fabulous to see what comes out. I'm really sorry that I have to leave this Zoom call soon because I'm not sorry about the noise in the background. but I really, for me in New Zealand, it's a different experience for us, and I'm really appreciating, what's going on further afield. But I'm really struggling with these abstract concepts of trust, which is one of the big things that we've learned here, was that people trusted their government, and we cooperated and collaborated as a society. So to show that in a visual is a really good challenge. And yeah, concepts like distance and movement and space and collaboration, those in a collage of poetry, I would try and show that visually. And I just wanted one question.
Sure.
Do I have to use this white paper?
No.
Because I've already done one and I did it. And
Okay.
I'm 2 hours away from where I normally live, but
Okay.
I've done it on cloth. Is that gonna work?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm a rule breaker. Michael knows that, but yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? That's the high five to you, girl. Because I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm having fun with you as a sister. I'm just saying, fantastic. If it was newspaper, if it were, a glitter board, it makes no difference. It's just that, the reason we started with this, to give people an idea, is so that they're not intimidated. I mean, we can't really be intimidated by a piece of paper. That's the message. So if you've written on cloth, fantastic. If you sewn us a book, fantastic. I might just do, something that's 5 times this size. Because for me, this little paper is so small. I don't know if I can get everything I want to say. So they might end up with a huge book. I'm not sure yet. But Virginia, I'm so happy that you could join us. Could you share, because what you're sharing right now is really important. Like, what does trust look like? Are they hands, both holding this way? Is it 2 eyes meeting? Is it a heart being opened up? And actually, this is why process is so important, because it isn't as if you're being asked to do something right now and turn it in, although you've completed it, which is fantastic. It's meant for you to have this be a springboard for other ideas to articulate exactly what you're talking about. What does trust look like? What does a broken heart feel like on a piece of paper? I don't know. And that's the important part that you're sharing.
Yeah, I haven't got that figured out yet either, Meleanna, but I will by the 1st of April.
Okay, likewise. We got work to do, my dear.
Yes, yeah. I do. And I thank you for this call. I'm sorry that I have to go and pick up my old dad.
Yeah. No problem, my dear. It's a pleasure to meet you. Aloha. Thank you.
Beautiful friends.
Yeah, aloha.
I'm going to share with everybody your wonderful work. I have the program from your Yangon Echoes exhibition, so I want to share that with everybody just so that they can see that. So lovely.
Yeah.
Here.
Aloha.
One last thing, if I may. Today we've been protesting. I've come up here to Dunedin for the Burma Solidarity. And that's one part of this whole pandemic that also is a big thing in my book, because how the politics of the disease, and how you have to choose your personal safety or you're in your, for the people of Myanmar. So I'm going to put all this in this book, and I think it's great. Thank you for giving me this vehicle to reflect on this. So.
Na'ukaho'oli, our great pleasure. Thank you. Mahalo,
Aloha
Virginia.
to all of
Aloha.
you. Thank you.
It's so nice to see you here. Mahalo.
Lovely to see you. Michael.
Here's, this is also, Michael remembers this well. I'd like to share these because I think it's so
Please
special.
do. It's wonderful.
Let me see if I can. There we go. Can everybody see that okay? So this is the wonderful exhibition back in 2017 that Michael worked with Virginia and Tim Webster on. Really incredible exhibition. So just want to honor that for a moment. The incredible people that we have in the room and all the projects we've shared. Incredible photographs, incredible objects that really brought these photographs to life in the gallery space. So and we had a troupe of puppeteers that also came with musicians as well. So really special project. There we go. Okay.
That was an incredible show, Annie. Michael, that was an incredible show. And you know, the work that you've done, I just want to honor you and just thank you for keeping the center relevant for me, because without others seeing how the world really works and looks and feels and walks and talks, and you know, the center is really a sleeper. It has done so much for so many, but we don't get a chance to thank each other enough. So, you know, in a small way, I just want to thank you, Michael Schuster, for everything that you've done, because you've brought such a deep concern for culture, and that it be perpetuated. And that I can't say more than that. It's just huge. It's a huge thing for me. And so thank you. Mahalo nui. How are you doing with your book, by the way, Mr. Schuster, Dr. Schuster?
Well, you know, I never do anything conventionally either. So I can't do a group project when the group is doing. I just
God
can't
forbid, right?
Right. So I please forgive me, but I love the project. I think it's really important for our entire community. And I also need to leave because I need to speak with my mother, who's 91 and alone. And at this time of the day, I always call her every day. So, and she, you know, it's been a very hard year for everyone. And we're just all so lucky to still be here. And I wish you all well. And thank you for your kind words. It's very, very emotional time for all of us. And I will definitely send something in as I figure out how I'm going to do this. And I just also wanted to mention, because Virginia talked about Yangon, and a dear friend of all of ours just recently passed away, Utan Yant, who was here, who's a puppeteer, and has been one of the great forces in that tradition. So anyway, aloha to you all, and we will be seeing you soon. I'll talk to you all later. Okay, yes.
Well, hello, Michael, and tell Gail hello, and aloha to Gail as too.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye, Michael.
Aloha.
Aloha, hi, Jackie.
Aloha.
All righty. Uh-oh.
So I've also just been told that I have an appointment I have to go to with my daughter, but I did start on it.
Oh,
Sid has some ideas.
Great.
Could you show us what you got, my dear?
Just the one eye. Oh no, I have a son too. Let's see if I can find my camera. That'd be great. Somewhere in here. Oh, there's something showing up.
I think it's your background might be in the way. We can't see it with the
your background.
A little bit of the eye we can see.
Yeah, I don't know about how to alleviate that.
If you take your background out, Jackie, that'll work.
Oh, here it is, background footage. No.
Yeah, just there you go. Oh wow, okay. Just
So
put that, there you go.
Okay. The whole eye concept.
Right.
And the fact that what's going on with people's reactions with the eyes, trying to smile with their eyes.
Right.
Also just trying to figure out what's going on with the eye. But I have some comments, and I'll have some other things much more colorful, because I was trying to work with the sun concept.
Yay. Awesome.
With the sunspots.
Yeah.
And and the fact it keeps on running. And also with the concept of the vitamin D being really important for healing for COVID, and also for the immunity.
Right.
and the use of the ultraviolet and heat. So anyway, I'm working it out. But
Yeah.
thank you. This has been good. I'm also going to be using a different kind of paper and probably using collage because
Okay. I love to hear it.
Yeah, I'll send it in the mail because I'll be back in the Midwest by the time I finish it up.
Okay.
Where are you based in the Midwest, Jackie?
Ferguson in St.
Okay.
Louis.
Wow.
Outside of St. Louis.
Incredible. I'm gonna
So
take a moment and I'm gonna do the same, Jackie. Your project. Oops, excuse me. Wrong one.
I'm
here.
so glad, Annie, you're bringing these projects to share because
fun.
this is the best part about it.
Incredible. You know, it's really incredible. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see it all together. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah, it's gonna be really.
Yeah.
Can you see this here, everybody? So this is this was before my time here at the center, but Michael and Jackie worked together on this project, which I've seen photographs of the installation. It just really incredibly powerful exhibition as well.
Yeah, extraordinary. Jackie, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. This is fun. I haven't done an online workshop before. And I missed the last one because I had no Wi-Fi. So I'm back.
So nice to see you. It was so nice to see you at the symposium last year. So it's great to stay connected with you as well.
Yeah, it was good. All right, you all have a good weekend. Thank you.
Aloha. So as you're finishing up, what I'd like to do, please, is just take a moment. And actually, what's really important about this is that it doesn't have to be finished right now, but it propels you and compels you to see things in not only in silos, but I want you to take a moment and open your paper, because that is indeed kind of like a cosmic thing for me, is just to be able to share this and go, hey, guess what? Upside down, inside out, iloko mabaho, there is something here that is telling a story. And that is something that I really would like you guys to be inspired by, you know, that it isn't just one thing or another, but it becomes the whole. And so it should inspire you in that regard, but then also just remember, you can do crazy things with your books. You can cut things out. This was a bigger piece of paper. So I started with an O, you know, and the word I put down here was koho ia, meaning chosen. So this time was chosen for us. I'm not sure why. I don't understand it, but I'm not done with this book either. And I'm not sure I'm going to send it in, but I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm having fun. So ola means life. Okay. But it's also, I've cut these pages. So just because I've done that is kind of nuts. And it was an idea that I had. And I thought, well, what the heck? What's on the other side of this door? Don't laugh. Okay. There we are again, you know. So I don't want you to think that I am Hawaii centric, but I am. And then it says Isola Earth, you know, he momi kahunua. In other words, our Earth is a pearl. It is a beautiful, beloved pearl in the cosmos, in the universe. And so as we work, I just want you to know, you know, get beyond your instincts to say, I'm not an artist. Because we're not asking you for perfection or for masterpieces. We're asking you to share your thoughts. And maybe that's what we're going to do for the next 10, 15 minutes, is just take a page, if you could, and feel free to share it with us, because that's actually what I'd really love to do, is see where you've gone with this and then where perhaps you might want to go next. So, Annie, you want to pick somebody, or somebody want to?
Oh no, who's not going to be mad at me later?
I know, exactly. Well, I'm glad it's not me.
Oh, that's why you had me do it. Good.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to call out my dear Melissa. Melissa, you want
to?
I know she's good at sharing.
Sure, I will share.
Yay.
So this is my cover.
Okay.
Would you like me to read what I have here?
Please, I would love it if that's okay.
Okay. Where the world was once a place that I believed I could and needed to reach physically, I now realize that even if I cannot go to all the places and to know all the people, that we are connected. I learned languages, chose fields of study, and traveled places to broaden my view and find my place in the world. But more and more, I find that this place, Hawaii, I didn't finish the rest, but Hawaii.
Yeah. Yikes. Thank you for sharing. It's, yeah. Wow.
Here's my COVID. It's kind of like yours, but I thought that it was more like trees, and then this is the sort of the air that's blowing through, and like the wind that it sort of hit us with. But it's also thinking about COVID being airborne.
Mm-hmm.
And so that like gusts just blowing through us. What did we deserve? What did we do to deserve this sickness, this pandemic? It blew through the world like a huge gust of wind, and it took our breath, forced us to shelter, forced us apart, and asked us to stop, to pause. It changed our perspectives on work, on family, uprooted us and our families, left us in the dark, hole. Here's my son.
Love it.
In the center of my sun. The sun continues to shine, but not every day feels sunny because the nights are long and the days too short. So around here, I have things like appreciate time. I was thinking, this is an afterthought, but I was thinking about light and the different kinds of light that we have been experiencing more and more. So I included like blue light, starlight, sunlight, moonlight, artificial light. Sow new seeds in the garden of life. Wake up. Well, the first thing I wrote was Ealamai. And then my kids go to Kayapuni school. So and my daughter was in kindergarten. So I had to like her Papahana Kakahiaka was every day at home, right? So one of the things like Keiala, kala inehine, kala apopo, right? So learning all of those things, the light in the darkness, find time to create, declutter, wake up, kilo, find new ways, lift the dirt, lift the darkness, stick to it, be a light for others and self. And finally, my maka is, this is my maka, and Nava, can you see the eyelashes on the top lid? It says kilo, 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 kilo. And Pehea on the bottom. Renewed perspective. Who sees what? The first thing I wrote on this was really Nana Kamaka Ho'olohe Kapepeao e Hana Kalima. See who's out there, new friends, new paths, new futures together. Clarity. Whose vision? For who? Be open, be available, go deeper, go. So whose way is the best way? It's seeing, believing. And yeah, so those are my doodlings and my writings for today.
Fantastic. Hey, you know, I'm just enjoying this, and I'm looking at Lili Mia, of course, and Viren. And because Viren, you were on last week too. How have your drawings been proceeded? Have any of those ideas taken root? Because what you shared really has stuck with me all week. You realize that.
Aloha and namaste from Delhi. Yeah, thank you very much. And yes, I'm working on that idea, but same time I thought this is really a good platform to show something.
Good.
For today's session, I am making one of the very important thing in India, which is caste, basically, because in India, this Indian people, we are divided in caste system, and I'm connecting how this coronavirus can connect with the caste system.
Mm.
So
Oh, there you go. Okay.
yeah, and in India, we are divided into four caste system, and the first one is priest, because in India we think the priests are born through the head of a god, and then kings, fighters. Then third one is the business class, and the last class is the public service class. And unfortunately, they are called untouchables. So untouchables means if we look at the present scenario, what is corona? Corona is an untouchable, untouchable this virus. So I'm connecting that coronavirus to Indian situation, which is like untouchable, and yes, this is a caricature I have made. A person, he has a ball in his neck, then he has a bell, and then a broom, a big feather. So the concept for this drawing is just before the independence, all the untouchables, they they have to wear this a big ball, then bell, and this broom. Why? Same like coronavirus, because we have to stop spreading coronavirus. Same with this kind of situation, like when an untouchable person is walking on road, so he is not allowed to spit. So he has to spit only this bowl, which is always hanged in his neck, and then a bell.
Wow.
Bell shows means because when he's walking, so bell makes sound, and because of the sound, other people can hear and they feel, oh, one untouchable is coming, so they can move side. And the last, this feather, the person is moving, and those feather remove that untouchable person's footprints. So I am connecting that caste system discrimination with the coronavirus, because same, we are trying to cover masks, sanitizer, everything. But in reality, the untouchable people facing this problem, not from last year, but we are facing this problem since 5,000 years.
Interesting.
So, for the untouchables, coronavirus is not a new thing. So
Wow.
yeah, so this is cover page. This is a black person, untouchable person. For him, still the situation is where am I? And then thousands questions. And for the another people, they are free. The whole India is there, so they can do anything they want. But the untouchable, they are not allowed to do many things. So yes, there's a human, and then he has to keep a ball like this, and yeah, this is to hang on his back always, and then a ball. Yeah, ball I have made connected with something like, you know, coronavirus or something. So yes.
So as you're working, Viren, feel free to not only explore more deeply, but since last week, you know, you had some very heavy, for me, some very instinctively raw drawings that really meant a lot, as you had a round of bread, and then you had resources. So you have a lot of really deep ideas, and I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, how these ideas as generated, you know, how you're going to explore them either through this work or maybe in an in-between project, because you are in Delhi. So just know that you can actually reach out to us, you know, and I want you to know that, because if you need more time, I mean, that's what this exercise is also for. I want to be there to kind of listen and help you through, you know, an idea or something. And that goes for all of us, because this is a very difficult time. It's a very, very difficult time. And I don't want anybody to think that just because we've got this crazy, you know, moment to be together, that everything's going to be fine and a book's going to solve any problems. It's not, but it's giving us a chance to do exactly what you're doing, which is to share with us. And I was hoping that Lily Mia, you might, if it's okay with you, Viren, just feel free to reach out, because I'd be happy to hear more of what you have to say, because I think it's really important. So if that's okay, I'm going to just ask my buddy so that maybe he could inspire something that you're doing as well. But thank you for sharing. So reach out, young man. I look forward to that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope yeah, thank you so much. Lily Mia, do you have anything to share?
Hi, Auntie.
Hi, sweetheart. Hi.
Thank you for the invitation, everybody. Sorry, I was just wrapping my mind around how to conceptualize this, and I'm all in now. Sorry, I just after people were sharing and stuff, I kind of got an idea.
Yeah.
So my preferred medium is not paper. I'm a digital person. So I'm actually started. Oh, let me change my background. Sorry.
I like it, by the way. Where is it? It looks like Maui or something.
This is I'm a professor of physics at UH West Oahu. I'm also an East West Center alum from 2013 to 2019. Now I'm a physics professor. This is the garden, the mala, and right behind me is the ulu tree that I took a picture of because I love ulu. So I've decided, I finally figured out the pattern and stuff. So I'm gonna break it up and do it on my iPad.
Cool.
And then print it out. Am I bound to doing it?
No.
Booklet size?
No.
Because I was thinking of using bigger paper because it'll print out pretty. And
yeah.
I have a lot to say. But so what you said question 1, their time and experience at East West Center.
Right.
And so that's the black dot. I haven't thought about that yet, but what I started with was that black dot begins with the kumulipo. Mai kapo mai. And so that's where I'm heading in that direction. And my origin here is from Kumulipo, not East West Center. And sorry, I'm Hawaiian centric too.
Yeah. Ew.
and
Feel free.
The gray thing is I'm drawing the chemical structure for, or at least the perceived chemical structure for COVID-19 and begin to, because I'm a scientist. Sorry.
Yes. And you know what? I'm so excited about that, because from the science, you're actually going to help us understand more. So this is the collective energy is like, wow. And that's why, you know, from you and Carolyn and Melissa and Viren, Terry and Sue this afternoon, and Laurel and Vivian, you know, all of us are collectively doing the work together. And because that is happening right now, I just don't feel alone. And I feel so much more relief that we can actually get on a call. And we're speaking to my new buddy in Delhi, for goodness sake. And as you say, there is so much to be grateful for that we can actually reach out digitally and do this kind of work. So, you know, Annie, maybe you could just sort of help us in terms of thinking about the KUMU project, but also just saying, hey, the form is a piece of paper, but it doesn't have to be, it can be much more than that, or it could be a song, you know, but this is just to get us started so that we don't feel intimidated by the exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really, really flexible. And I think,
yeah,
you know, that people, if they know, kind of the door is open to, you know, if there are questions of, well, I want to do this, then, you know, I think we're really open to it, because the whole purpose of this is really just what everybody needs from this individually, and that we're working also in a collective and making a space for these conversations and for people to process this experience that we're all having, because it gives us an outlet, and it gives us an outlet that we can share together. Maybe I'll share a little bit of mine, because this is the first time and in all of this time, as we've been talking about all of this since, Navahine, when was it we started this? Was it October, November? We started these conversations, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So I finally said to myself, well, what am I going to do with this book? But I wanted to, Meleanna, I wanted to share something that I just realized. Because we're talking about KUMU, and Meleanna has really enlightened us with this. So many different meanings for the word KUMU. That's really enlightened. I had no idea of the depth of the word KUMU, but it brings me back to I study Balinese music and dance, and my husband's from Bali, and so I tend to be a little Bali centric in my thinking. But I came back to this idea of the tree. And in Balinese performing arts wayang tradition, there's the kayonan, which is the first, it's the tree of life at the beginning. And kayon is also relates to kayu, which is tree or wood. And kayon is also to think as well, or thought.
Wow.
Learning. So there is that kind of connection that I've never realized. But at the beginning of the performance, it comes out and does the dance, and it's the bridge between the past and the present, and these stories, these incredible mythological stories that connect from the past and bring them and make them into the current time. So I think there's so much there. There's so much depth there. They also, when they come out, they represent turbulence. So if there's kind of the unrest, the kayonan comes out, and its other dance as well. So again, connection to this time, but I had never really thought about sort of the connection between kayonan and the tree and stories. And so I think that's really exciting for me to see that word kayonan and to link it and think of how it relates as well to KUMU too. So I was I love the idea too of this idea and the connection between the light and the dark, right? We can embrace the light and the positive that we're having without, as you mentioned before, belittling the suffering that everybody is really going through, and how we can kind of process within ourselves both at the same time. And I think that we're all doing that, because you know, there's a lot that we've slowed down because of this. It's forced us, and there's so much that we're going to be able to take away from this time that we would never be able to have that if we weren't forced to stop and take some time and reflect. So we've also, you know, it's been an incredibly challenging time, but there's so much positive that we can take away from it too.
Well, I also just want to say that Viren's drawing of the dark and the light, you know, there's so much just in two colors, you know, or so I just want to sort of honor that we're exploring together. And I think that's what's really exciting to me. And is it Marcia? Hi, Marcia. I haven't had a moment, or Laurel, but I see our beloved sisters, Robin and Trish on also.
Aloha.
So hi there, you wonderful siblings. Maybe you can share too, because this is a good time. So feel free to share what you have. But is it Marcia?
Yeah, it's Marcia.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. Hi.
It's been a very strange time, as we all know, but I have two daughters in high school.
Wow.
In fact, I was a little distracted earlier because my oldest daughter, who's a senior, was going to get her driver's license. So she took her test and she passed. So that's great.
Is that good or bad?
It's been it's good. It's been such a peculiar time for them. I mean, they've been trapped at home, two girls in a very small space. I'll be on a Zoom in the morning and my daughter will be playing the saxophone in her class. I mean, it's just bizarre, right? And I think about all the things they've done, which is amazing. I mean, they've both got their black belts in Taekwondo. They both over Zoom. I mean, it's just really been a peculiar year all the way around.
Yeah.
But one thing that we discovered, I bought a plant. I went to Charles Nee, the nursery, and I bought a plant because I thought it was pretty, and I brought it home. And it was a milkweed. And there was a teeniest little caterpillar on it. And it managed to eat the whole milkweed and become the biggest caterpillar you've ever seen. And then it took off and it became a butterfly. And then it came back and laid its eggs. And since then we've been breeding monarch butterflies, which is really pretty amazing. And I think how that also has a similarity in a way, you know, they go off and they cocoon and then they emerge as something even more so in a way. And so anyway, I've been drawing monarchs over here, and you know, I mean, it just kind of fit. The butterfly just fit perfectly with the two-sided thing. So I don't know. That's just an inkling of a thought where it's given me a lot of hope watching these butterfly. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you know, just the whole process of nature doing what it does and rights itself. And last week we went to Hanauma Bay, and it is an entirely different place than it was a year ago. We actually saw fish. So they're back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now listen, that's just, it's really okay. So for me, it's just like those butterflies, just the opportunity to open a book, you know, open and close. I mean, there's just so many other things that are being generated for me. So I just want to thank you for that sharing, because this is exactly what it's meant to be. It's this time together is meant to be generative. Yeah. So we're cathartic. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it really was.
and just because it's fun doesn't mean it's not serious work. Okay. So that's what happens with art and artists. It's really important work. And if you're having a good time, somehow people think, well, it can't be art. Well, of course it can be, because we're trying to make sense of the world. And I'm glad that you all have shared, many of you have, and it's meant a lot. And for the few moments that we do have, does anyone else have anything that they want to share? Dear Robin and Trisha. I love it.
Hi, aloha.
Hello, where are you?
Sorry for joining late. I'm registered for next week as well, but I thought I would sneak in and try to get the last bits of today's meeting and join in.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week too.
Awesome.
Yay. Trisha, you have anything you want to add, kiddo? Anybody else? Terry, Laurel, I know this has been a slow moving evening on a Friday. So just know, keep the faith, and maybe we can just take a nice deep breath in together and just send that energy out, because I feel your stories, you know, and I hear them and I'm sensing them in all sorts of different ways. So don't forget, you got your 6 senses. Artists always have 6. So as we are all artists, don't forget about that intuition, yeah, and the now. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next week. Whoever wants to join, feel free. Viren, I look forward to the next iteration of what you're thinking about. Annie, you have any final thoughts?
I just want to say thank you. And if anybody has any questions, the door is open, and, you know, any way you want to interpret this project, we look forward. You know, we're going to have the hard work of, I'm really excited to start receiving everybody's stories and see what kind of stories come and what threads there are that kind of interconnect the stories together. And then we have the hard work of turning everybody's beautiful work and everybody's story into some kind of installation of some sort, which we're still working on. But I think it's really incredible, because we're you know, creating this together with the same intention. Everybody has their individual stories, but we connect. And so whatever you need from us to continue to be connected to us, any questions about this, just send them our way, and we're happy to continue the dialogue. And
yay.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you everybody for joining and taking this time. I know it's just one more Zoom meeting, but I hope that there's that you can have something to take away from this and really able to connect through this project. So
yay,
everybody.
Awesome. Better watch out. We'll put everybody to work next week, okay?
Mahalo.
All right.
Mahalo.
Aloha.